Live Healthy is brought to you by Kirk Supermarket and Pharmacy.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Well, have you been cutting out the salt in your diet but find that your sodium levels are still high and that your blood pressure is up? Here to help us find a way to bring down that sodium is nutritionist Andrea Hill. Welcome, Andrea.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Now, we've got a display of high sodium and low sodium.
Yeah, lower sodium, I would almost say. But you know, it's really interesting because you talk to a lot of people that are trying to manage their pressure. And you know, the first thing that I often hear is, I don't touch the salt shaker. It doesn't even come close to my cooking. But interestingly, you know, it's the sodium. I mean, half of our sodium that we take in is in our processed food supply and those prepared foods. And we become a very sort of convenient, busy type of society, and we do, you know, look to a lot of these convenience items. And because of that, you know, we end up taking in more salt than I think we actually realize. So it's interesting to kind of bring up some key items that people might be using out of convenience, and some of them may actually even appear really healthy, but there are other options, alternate options within that same bracket of food that maybe people could look to help lessen it over time.
Well, let's start with the high sodium area.
Yeah, I mean, interesting. I mean, you could see lots of things here. I mean, generally what you're talking about is, you know, condiments. You see I've got like ketchup and chili sauces, barbecue sauce, things like pickles and canned meats, of course, right? So, I mean, these are sort of some of the classic things that we don't necessarily think of equaling salt, right?
Right.
But they are. I mean, looking at, you know, some packaged foods, like I've got that sort of instant mashed potatoes, something like that. I mean, people might keep that in their cupboards for a quick, convenient side dish, but they could be adding almost a quarter or more of their day's sodium. But then if you go on this side and you actually look at, you know, just using the whole potato itself, you know, I mean, some of this, yes, may take some preparation and some organization in your kitchen, but if you're mindful of some of these key areas that you could tailor down and reduce some of these hidden sources, I think you'd be in a much better position to be managing your blood pressure.
Our nutrition label tells us a lot about what's in our meal. How do we find out how much is too much sodium?
Right, absolutely. Well, I'll take this box of shredded wheat because it's our biggest one that we have here. You could see here, actually, this is a great option for somebody wanting to watch their blood pressure. 0 milligrams of sodium. But when you look aside here, right, the first thing you want to look for, of course, is your sodium, and as you can see, 0 here, so that helps, of course. But I tell people to go to the other side of that label where the percentages are. And right up top, you're going to see that says daily value percentage. So we on average, you know, the sort of general recommendations are 2,300 milligrams a day. For somebody with hypertension, you're looking at no more than 1,500 milligrams a day. So that percentage along the side is going to tell us a lot. Anything on these percentages along the side, anything under 5% would be considered low. Anything over 20% would be considered high. So looking at this, I'll just choose something that's really high, 36%. This tells me that this is an excellent source of fiber because it's over that 20% daily value. Something that's under, let's say, sodium, this is 3%, so this is definitely a low sodium item.
So definitely something that you want to pay attention to
Absolutely.
To help you make that distinction.
Absolutely.
Because just because it's healthy doesn't mean it's not full of sodium.
No, that's exactly right. And you could even see, I mean, I've got two classic examples. I've got whole grain ready rice mixes and something like V8, like a vegetable juice, right? So using something like this, I mean, you can see, you know, looking at a lot of these labels, you're getting almost 30% the daily value of sodium. We already know that's high now, right? So if you're a V8 person, go for a low sodium. This one is very, very low. It's under the 5% mark, and even going for just using regular rice so that you don't have that seasoning pack in there. Interestingly, if you do a processed cheese like those singles, I say go for a block cheese. You're still getting sodium, but it's a lot less than the singles because the less processed, the better is what we're going for here.
It's really about just making those swaps, right? You know, you can still eat the same things that you want to eat, just find the better option.
Right, and last but not least, fruits, vegetables, low-fat dairy products. These are going to give you fiber, potassium, calcium, all very important minerals when it comes to managing your pressure. So we have to remember that it is the balance, as we always talk
Right.
about in the diet.
Know your body, know your body's need, and make
Absolutely.
the necessary swaps.
That's it.
As always, thank you,
Great.
Andrea.
Great. Thanks, Edlin.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Daybreak coming up.
Live Healthy is brought to you by Kirk Supermarket and Pharmacy.